Cosmetic surgery clinics like the Cosmetic Institute don't actually tell their customers that they're not allowed to use. Former Australian Big Brother contestant Sky Wheatley would probably have got a great result from her boob job if she'd had it done in Australia. After all, she could have got it done on the cheap in her home country at a cosmetic surgery clinic, for instance, instead of going to Thailand to get it on the cheap as she did.
Show me the double bubble, Sky. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, that's quite significant, yes.
And I feel as if it's slipping out
It's
underneath.
called bottoming out.
My nipple's pointing out this direction, the right breast.
That's 3-4 hours of reconstruction.
Oh my God.
In my opinion, one would expect a fairly rich, Western, organised society like Australia to have much stricter and stronger rules regarding who can offer plastic surgery and who can't. At the Cosmetic Institute in Australia, not only can you get a breast augmentation and other cosmetic surgery, you can get it on the mega cheap.
How did their prices compare to other places?
To go to the Institute would have cost me half of what it would have cost here in Melbourne.
$5,990 for new breasts or $5 a day.
Caveat emptor. Buyer beware. There is a glaring reason why the Cosmetic Institute can offer cosmetic surgery so cheaply.
Did they explain to you how they could offer you this surgery at such a cheap price?
I think because they said they do the twilight anaesthetic, I'm pretty sure that's why, and because it's a day procedure.
Clinics like the Cosmetic Institute can only use local anaesthetic and twilight or conscious sedation. The lighter sedation allows them to perform major surgeries in what is little more than office space, without the costly hospital infrastructure or safety equipment required for a general anaesthetic.
In many cases though, cosmetic surgery clinics like the Cosmetic Institute don't actually tell their customers that they're not allowed to use general anaesthetic in their surgery.
What many don't tell their customers though is they're not allowed to use general anaesthetic.
In fact, what they prefer to do is to make the surgery look like a walk in the park, as if someone's going to have their nails done.
They did say like every surgery there are small risks, but they do it every day. You're in good hands and you're going to wake up a new person.
Did it worry you at all that you're having such major surgery under a light sedation?
Yeah, it did. They said that it was better for your body and like the recovery was quicker. That was their preferred method. You know, that's what they said to me. That was their preferred method of anaesthetic.
It's their preferred option because it's their only option.
Yeah.
After their respective breast augmentation surgery at the Cosmetic Institute, 20-year-old Amy Rickhouse and 38-year-old Kylie Pollock were left fighting for their life in hospital.
So when you woke up, where were you?
When I woke up, I was at the Westmead Hospital.
What did the nurse tell you?
That I had a complication during surgery and that I went into a VF arrest. And I said, what's a VF arrest? And they said it's all basically a cardiac arrest. And I had to be revived.
What was your reaction to hearing that?
I cried. It was pretty hard to think that that was myself. To be told that, you know, you nearly died. It's pretty hard to hear.
Amy had had a heart attack. Kylie had had a seizure and was convulsing.
I don't remember. Apparently I woke up and I looked around and that, and then I started having seizures, and then I got rushed to hospital and I was still seizuring.
What was happening to you?
A lot of jaw jerking, a lot of eye movement. My whole body and head, I was just shaking and shaking.
So, far from trotting off home, feeling well and feeling happy with the new figures that they'd gained as they were promised by the Cosmetic Institute, a near-death experience is what each of those two ladies suffered.
How lucky is that girl to be alive today?
She's very fortunate.
They had their procedure done at a cosmetic surgery clinic, the Cosmetic Institute, which meant that they could not have been given a general anaesthetic and were very possibly given too much local anaesthetic to stop them feeling pain.
Dr. Hugh Bartholomews is president of the Australian Society of Plastic Surgeons. He says lives are put at risk by cosmetic clinics because during major surgery, unlicensed to put patients under a general anaesthetic, they sometimes inadvertently use too much local anaesthetic.
For a doctor to make it seem as if a local anaesthetic is risk-free,
They said that it was better for your body and like the recovery was quicker. That was their preferred method of anaesthetic.
They did say like every surgery there are small risks, but they do it every day. You're in good hands.
is for a doctor to be behaving in a highly irresponsible way. A general anaesthetic takes you to the edge of death, yes, but the thing is, for a general anaesthetic to be administered, then you need an anaesthetist, someone with the qualifications, the training and the experience to do the job. That's not the case with a local anaesthetic or a twilight anaesthetic. And yet, a local anaesthetic can be fatal.
Having now obtained both Kylie and Amy's medical records, there's no doubt that they ended up in hospital fighting for their lives because of a toxic reaction to a large dose of local anaesthetic. The question is, why were they given it in the first place? Again, it comes down to the fact that these cosmetic clinics are not licensed to give general anaesthetic. Instead, they put their patients under a light or conscious sedation and then use local anaesthetic to stop the pain of surgery. It's the overuse of that local anaesthetic that can lead to heart attacks and seizures.
In case you don't know, I'm Gina and I'm from London, and in the course of my ongoing cosmetic surgery journey, I've had numerous local anaesthetics and general anaesthetics. Amy and Kylie had their breast augmentation done by a cosmetic surgeon, meaning that the person wasn't necessarily qualified or experienced in performing that procedure.
Perhaps even more concerning is that anyone with a medical degree can call themselves a cosmetic surgeon. So if you're a GP with no specialist surgical training, you can set up shop and legally perform major operations like breast augmentations and facelifts at clinics like these. Unlike plastic surgeons who must have 8 years specialist training and be licensed and accredited.
In my opinion, the average person on the street in Australia isn't aware of the difference between a cosmetic surgeon and a plastic surgeon in their country, much less of the implications of the huge difference between those two professionals.
Well, you know that the plastic surgeons are specialised and cosmetic surgeons aren't.
See, no, that's news.
You didn't know that?
No. You just think, because you see a surgeon attached to their name, you don't question it. I didn't question it.
I think it's highly understandable that both Amy and Kylie assumed that the person doing their breast augmentation was a trained, qualified and experienced surgeon.
Do you think that these patients might have an expectation that in a country like Australia, that if they're going to a doctor to have what is a serious procedure, that it would be a requirement by law that person would be qualified?
I think
that's a fair expectation.
It is a very fair expectation, Tara, and that is exactly what we're calling for.
The question is, are things likely to change in Australia, as I personally feel that they should?
The Institute has been reported to the Healthcare Complaints Commission, and in the last 2 weeks, the New South Wales Health Minister has called in the inspectors.
If you've enjoyed this video, I recommend you to watch this one next. I'll meet you there.